welcome back. The education sector is concerned as ongoing power outages reduce valuable teaching and studying time. This is as the grade 12 class of 2022 has just a month before final exams. Pupils who rely on technology to study have been severely affected. The KZN Education Department visited Mdluli High School on the south coast to check on preparations. Our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli joins us in Durban for more on this. Lethiwe, thanks so much. So tell us, you spoke to some pupils. How have they been preparing for exams so far under these difficult circumstances?
Well, it's been a very difficult time for majority of the matriculants that are getting ready for those exams. It's 30 days and the countdown has already begun. And I had a chance to speak to them while we were in eNCA earlier. And majority of them were sharing their difficulties, especially around this time, because since the past 3 weeks, you'd remember that we've had rolling blackouts, and right now we are on stage 4 load shedding, which means that some of those evening classes that schools have resorted to will not be taking place. I had a chance to speak to some of the pupils, matriculants, and they were saying that it's been very difficult. Some of the families have had to invest in inverters and generators to keep the lights on so that they can study. Of course, this comes at a very, very difficult time. Of course, we're heading into exam seasons. It's not only matriculants that are affected. A majority of the pupils that are in school are affected by this, and the pupils are saying that it's been very difficult. While I spoke to them a bit earlier on in eNCA, this is what they had to say.
It's quite difficult to access the correct resources needed, for example, memos and even printing past papers, because once you get home after writing, which is like 5 p.m. in the afternoon, you're unable to print past papers or even access them on your laptop.
Honestly, it has affected me a lot, because imagine writing maths tomorrow and you're practicing, then boom, the electricity goes off. But because I have friends who are very kind, I would borrow phones from them and then they torch so I can study.
When I come home and there's no lights, immediately I start stressing, and if the lights go out, that means there's also no water, there's no reception, so it's also very difficult to use the internet.
Lethiwe, we've heard from the National Health Department that they're asking for hospitals to be exempt from load shedding. So what are the answers that the Department of Basic Education are giving in terms of providing students with some kind of relief?
Well, I had a chance to speak to the KZN Department of Education MEC, Mbali Fraser, a bit earlier on when we were in eNCA, and she did say that they're urging Eskom to do something and also cancel these blackouts because of the exam season that is coming up. She did not say whether they are in talks with Eskom as to having schools exempt from load shedding, especially during exam season, but they were urging Eskom to do something about the blackouts, and also they were asking for answers. She did say that as a department, they are going to try and get involved in some of the schools that will not be able to carry on with their studying, especially those schools that are situated in deep rural areas. Where we were in eNCA, that is a very that school is located in a very rural area, and I spoke to the principal as well, and he did share that they are unable to invest in generators because that costs more money, and unfortunately the Department of Education here in the province does not have enough resources or funds to help them out. But the MEC did say that for those schools that are struggling currently, and if load shedding does continue into the exam season, they are going to try and help, but they are urging Eskom to try and limit load shedding schools, especially with the upcoming exams. While speaking to the MEC a bit earlier on, this is what she had to share.
The issue of load shedding, it is going to disturb us a lot, especially here in KZN. We therefore appeal to Eskom to make sure of that these disturbances that are happening must come to a stop. We are encouraging our learners that despite all the challenges that are around them, they must focus. We know exactly that we do have another challenge of security in our schools, as the government in KwaZulu-Natal we are working with SAPS, and we are going to ensure that our schools are a safety environment for our learners to write. Though it is difficult, what is happening, it's not a problem for education per se, but it's a societal issue. We therefore call upon our communities in KZN to stop disturbing our schools. You'll notice that in the few days when the communities are complaining about issues of water or electricity, they go to our schools and target our schools. We therefore appeal to them that must come to a stop.
That was our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli.